Hello all my Kenvians and welcome to a new episode of Discovering Steven Universe. Today we're going to be continuing the 2-episode per video thing where I'm going to at least try and get caught up with the show. With Sadie Killer and Kevin Party. And even though I didn't mention this last time, yes, I know that Sadie's last name is Sadie Miller, so it's a play on that name as well. Still not sure what the killer thing's going to be about. And considering the hashtag everything is sad, everyone is sad, everything is bad, and everyone is leaving us thing that's going on lately, I don't know. I don't know. But there's only one way for me to find out, and that is to watch the episodes themselves. So let's get started with Sadie Killer in 3, 2, 1, go. Sorry.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, Sadie's gonna die from exhaustion.
Steven, what'll it be? Restocking napkins early. We're always running out for some reason. Weird.
Oh my god.
See you, Sadie.
Steven!
No, us.
What? We don't even have a name yet. Or a set list.
Or songs.
One single song to put on a set list.
Yeah.
Doo-doo. But the government.
Wait, she can sing. Why doesn't... Well, she doesn't have time. Oh, hi.
Whoa, hey guys. Tired from work.
Nice.
Hate. This dead-end job. Oh, we are
This is really good.
dead. And we lurch for.
That was freaking really good.
Yeah. You're not Sadie Miller. You're Sadie Killer.
Yes.
This is our. Are you sure you can't come? I'm the only employee at the shop. I can't
She's
do
going to
it.
quit.
Singing is fun. And
My job, hate my job, obligations, no vacations, kinda sad.
does it really sound like that?
This is not.
Wait up!
She quit.
Sadie!
Did she quit?
And I can come to the next show and the show after that.
Shh.
Sadie, don't you have work?
I quit!
I knew it! Holy crap! Okay, let's stop this before Kevin starts. Alright, that was one of those Townie episodes. I'm so glad it wasn't a super depressing one. Like, it was a bit of a relief after the last 4 episodes. Even though some of them did have those moments of hope, it's just been constant downer. But this episode, it was, I don't know if palate cleanser is the right word, or phrase, but that's what it feels like. It's like after all the, darker, depressing stuff, which isn't gone. I mean, it's still there. We just didn't see Peridot. Steven has been clearly working on moving past everything, but it still affects him because he mentions it in the episode. But he found an outlet. He found an outlet with which to have some fun, to take his mind off of things, and that's with the cool kids and playing in this band, which, I mean, the opening stuff was weird. Like them doing their own individual styles, just it wasn't meshing very well. Although, I will say, my favorite to come out of that group, I'm sure I included this in the reaction, but Bucks, doo-doo, but the government. It just, I love it. I can't help it. Oh, but yeah. And one of the big things here was it it showed us how much Sadie has been affected by Lars being gone. I mean, not only does she miss him, it's like, she said it herself, he was one of the only people she's ever really been close to. This episode was just huge amounts of growth for her. It was like, we had seen her interacting with the cool kids before, and they had fun. They had a good time. But then, it's like, they came over because Sadie really wanted to see them perform so much. So they brought their stuff to her house, and just what ended up happening is like they found out a side of Sadie that they didn't know was there. The fact that she enjoyed these horror movies. And that the horror movie inspired this sound that resulted in, honest to God, a pretty sweet song. The Working Dead. I don't know if that's the actual title that they went with, but if we're going to talk song of the episode, that's it. Now, admittedly, Doo-Doo But the Government is a close second, but still, The Working Dead it was such a good song. Like, I'm sure someone probably has, just taken that segment and put it into just a music video format. Because it's really good. It was really well done. I love the effects. I love the effects that they put on the, what was it called? The Lurch or whatever, but just the effects for that movie looked really cool, and everything about that entire scene just worked, and I loved it. And of course that brings us to what happens at the end. Well, first, obviously, it's adorable seeing Steven trying to be scary. And Buck put it best with it's like you can't help being cute any more than I can help being cool. So yeah, Steven just, maybe when he's actually depressed, maybe when he's actually in a very dark place, it could come out scary, but at that point he wasn't, or at the very least he's doing his best to not really wallow in the darker feelings and experiences he's been having lately. It's like, because again, it's like the band was Steven's outlet. Oh, and of course, I kind of started to put it together, but I was thinking more like with the horror movies, it's like, thrillers, killers, and stuff like that it would somehow sort of inspire the name Sadie Killer, and I wasn't wrong, really, even though it was just in my head and I didn't really vocalize it so much. But yeah, that inspired. She's not Sadie Miller, she's Sadie Killer, and it just worked so well. But to get back to what I was talking about in the first place, originally, this resulted in some of the biggest growth I feel that we've seen from Sadie on this show. Like, she's had experiences where she has grown a lot. There was the time that they were on the island. There was when she, came out and it's like, she revealed that she liked to sing and stuff like that. She almost went on the talent show stage and all that. And it just, in my opinion, this left all of those in the dust. It's like, Sadie really came out and not only came into herself more, she became something more. She became this character, this Sadie Killer, and it works. It really works. And I love the cool kids. I love Sadie, and I hope that we get to see more of this band at some point. Like, if the people behind the show, Rebecca Sugar and all them, if they did as good of a job with the Working Dead, or if they do as good a job with another song as they did with that song, I'm looking forward to hearing another song or two, and hopefully we actually do at some point. Even if they just revisit The Working Dead, that would be pretty sweet as well. But I honestly do hope that we actually do get to experience at least one more song coming from this band. I think that would be a lot of fun. Although I will be curious if the band will sort of perform without Steven, because I'm going to guess that he probably can't be there all the time. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. But, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, Sadie Killer, thumbs up. And again, it's just such a nice palate cleanser between, between what we've experienced previously and whatever's coming up next. And unfortunately, since Kevin is involved with this next episode, I can only assume it will be an episode of either anger or returning to the depression, because bad things happen when Kevin's around, or at least it seems that way. Anyway, let's continue on and find out what's going to happen in Kevin Party. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Interdimensional gateway to space, and I love him. Okay.
Lion hasn't returned. Kevin.
What are you doing Saturday night?
Avoiding you.
Hey!
Connie's going?
Of course she's going. No one turns down an invitation to a Kevin party.
Sure about
I
that?
can't stand you. Why would she?
Words to their grandchildren will be, Kevin throws the best parties.
God, he's so full of himself. Lion?
Lion? Wait, you're doing hair.
She cut her hair! Oh my god, it's so cute!
I'll just go tell her how sorry I am. I really messed up.
Oh,
I was an idiot, and I.
Whoa! No. Okay.
Kevin,
Listen,
let him talk to
I
her.
normally do this.
He looks kind of bad though.
He's not my friend. Put it on.
You don't have any friends, because you're a... Watch my language.
Not quite cool enough.
Please tell me this isn't going to be something where they end up not talking, or like she leaves and they don't talk, because I would be really annoyed.
Now what am I gonna do? Kevin, how do people treat their friends?
You wouldn't know.
Connie? Wait, you'll always be a team, and I let you down. I'm sorry. Jam buds?
Jam buds.
Yay!
Hey everybody, are you having fun?
Oh, God.
Liars! You're all so fake.
Oh,
Sick. Get ready.
Party.
Mm-hmm. Good night.
No, wait!
I realize I should probably be listening to the outro music, but, I mean, at this point it kind of blurs together with the rest of them. I'm so happy! I honestly... I mean, I was pretty much resigned to the fact that Steven and Connie, might not really talk anymore. It's like, as far as the characters dating, it's like, that's... it. In my opinion, that doesn't matter so much. It's just them being able to be friends regardless. But I love the way this worked out. I love that I got to be angry at Kevin again because he sucks. So before I talk about other things, let me just say this. To kind of repeat myself what I just said, I love this episode. I love the fact that they were able to resolve that bit of conflict there so quickly. Connie wanted to see Steven. She wanted to talk to him in person, not just text. And it's completely understandable. I mean, even like talking over the phone when Steven was calling, it's like it's not the same as talking face to face. And Steven has had time to think about what he did and what happened, and he was truly apologetic. he recognizes that, you know, as much as he couldn't stand the thought of her being taken into space by the homeworld gems, that he just did the same thing to her, and he realizes that he didn't acknowledge her feelings, and it was so well done. It's, again, even though it's a cartoon and they combine all this into a quick 11 to 12 minute deal, it felt real. It felt like it was something that could actually happen between two people. There's a misunderstanding. They go for a while without without talking to each other / being able to talk to each other. And then when they finally get to see each other face to face and talk, regardless of the outcome, they're able to get things figured out. I love that. I love the way they portrayed that. I truly, truly do. I love this cartoon and just the things that it's able to teach kids that watch it. Things that kids are able to observe in some ways an abstract form, but in a way that's not talking down to them. It's like the idea of, you know, a teenage boy and girl talking about things like love and missing each other and that kind of deal. It's something that most grown-ups I know of, when I was growing up, it's like they wouldn't really know how to put it, or a lot of them would put it in a way that made it seem like, you know, what the kid might be feeling at the time isn't true love, or isn't you know, real feelings. It's like, you know, those real feelings develop in time, but I mean, teenagers of age 13, 14, kids that are older, kids that are a bit younger, it's something that even if they haven't at that point, it's something that they will experience to varying degrees. And I really love this show for the way it portrays things. I truly, truly do. I feel like I've said that already. I apologize for my rambling. But, all that aside, Kevin. I still don't like him as a character. He reminds me of people that I don't like. He reminds me of people I want nothing to do with. And yeah, just as a character in general, just not a good person. Not a good person at all. Doesn't care for others. He doesn't even, like, the people that were there at his party, I don't know if they're actually his friends or not. They're acquaintances at best. Most likely just people he invited. And he doesn't care about any of them beyond the fact that he wants them to utter his name on their deathbed? Like, Kevin is the portrayal of a narcissist to an extreme degree. Well, maybe not an extreme degree, because extreme narcissists can be very terrifying in a violent way at times, but still, it's like, in as much as this show is going to portray, he's the epitome of a narcissist. He cares about no one but himself. But even with that, there's that moment of weakness. Well, not even weakness, there's that moment of him kind of opening up, revealing something about himself, this Sabina, in which he, when he's asked who Sabina is, he blushes. Like, there's that moment of vulnerability and humanity to him that, I mean, I don't know, sometime in the future they might revisit Kevin and bring him about to be a character that I can at least tolerate. I don't know that he'll be a character I'll like, but he'll be a character that might potentially feel like less of a what's the word I'm looking for? Stereotype of like just being a complete narcissist jerk. So yeah, that moment of sensitivity, that moment of vulnerability, curious whether that might be expanded upon in the future. Because, I don't know, it feels like this show has a way of circling back to certain things in future episodes that might not think about usually. And a lot of this isn't even things that I've caught myself while watching. It's been pointed out to you all in the comments, and I thank you all so much for doing that. So yeah, that just has me wondering, could Kevin become, at the very least, a tolerable character? Someone who I won't dread whenever I hear his name or read his name in regard to this show. So yeah, all that aside, a few curiosities. Kevin uses a BlackBerry? Like, this episode came out in, like, at the earliest, late 2017, at the latest sometime this year in 2018. And do they even make BlackBerries anymore? I don't think they do. But even that, actually, just now as I'm thinking about it, I'm starting to wonder, like, from what Kevin is, he plays himself up. He's a narcissist. He wants everyone to notice him at any cost. He uses he gets all these big flashy things, this gigantic, big, stylish car. And yet he uses a BlackBerry. There's something there that I can't quite piece together, and I'm not sure what to make of it about him. And that's what makes me think more that we might get another episode, at least one with him, possibly exploring more of his human side and less of his every time I see him on screen I want to choke him side. Me speaking up as myself, obviously. But aside from Kevin, it was so good to see Connie. It really was. And I know I've talked about, the reconciliation with her and Steven, but the simple change of giving Connie a haircut. It's so cute. It really is. I don't know that I was going to say it makes her look like a whole different character. It's not that. But it does. It feels like the hair that she has now looks more grown up in a way that she and Steven have both grown up through the course of this show. It's like she seems just a bit more adult, a bit more grown up with that new hairstyle. Because, I don't know if maybe on a subconscious level or what, but the longer hair, she's had that since we first met her on the show. And so the removal of the long hair, it's sad because it was always adorable, but now we see her with this shorter, more adult-styled kind of hair, and I don't know, in a way it just sort of portrays some growth in her. A bit more a sign of herself maturing, while Steven has as well. Both in different ways, but still both maturing. And I mean, to repeat what I've already said, it's another element of this episode that I really do enjoy, and it's something that, maybe not all kids are going to pick up on, but I guarantee you that some are going to, and just those subtle cues that are portrayed through the show, it undoubtedly means a lot to to those certain kids who do pick up on it, or even the kids that might not pick up on it at first, but eventually they notice something. And it's through a show like this. Now, undoubtedly, there are other cartoons that have also been, pushing the limits and being more honest with kids these days. Adventure Time comes to mind, a show that I haven't actually watched, but I've heard from many people that it's a show that it's kiddie, it's silly, it's a cartoon, and yet it doesn't talk down to its audience. And that's something that has me honestly excited to check out the show myself at some point. But yeah, as always, I apologize for all the rambling, everyone. Kevin Party was surprisingly a wonderful episode. The fact aside that I couldn't stand Kevin most of the time. What we got from the episode Kevin Party it was beautiful in a way. Oh, but yeah, everyone, thank you so much for being here for this episode of Discovering Steven Universe, Sadie Killer and Kevin Party. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you all have to say in the comments down below regarding both of these episodes, as well as what I've had to say. As always, I apologize for the rambling and, possibly getting caught in a logic loop at times. It's just, it's how I work. But I do hope you enjoyed this video and hearing what I had to say. I look forward to discussions in the comments down below. And yeah, I'm looking forward to next time when I will be watching Lars of the Stars and Jungle Moon. So we get to see Lars again. This will be interesting, and figure out what has been going on with Lars in the meantime. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to finding out what happens here. So without any further ado, everyone, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Again, thank you for being here for this episode, and I will see you next time for the next Discovering Steven Universe. Until then, later.